All right, thank you for staying with us. It's time for us to move on very quickly now. And guys, I mean, I don't like the fact that I have to sit around this session.
Well,
but I have to do.
You can't avoid it now.
But I have to do it.
Oh yeah.
But I'll try to be as neutral as possible on this issue, not because of my involvement with the Super Eagles, but because of the interest that we have for Nigerian football. But let me start with let me start with you, Tunde. What do you make of all that's been going on since we beat Chad convincingly? Yeah. As I've always said, convincing victory over Chad.
Well, what would you call Ghana's annihilation of
super convincing.
Mauritius?
Super convincing. Anyway, let's come around it. Since that game, we're supposed to shift our attention to Tanzania. Yes. But it looks like we have to sort out a few personal issues, internal issues, before we focus on the Tanzania game.
This is a major test. I think probably the biggest test of this administration of the Nigerian Football Association, because this is what everything that they do revolves around. Managing players, managing the national team, building.
The ego of different players,
building, yes.
coaches.
And ordinarily, if it was just the players involved, you can always find a way around it. But now the coach is also in the mix, which makes their task particularly difficult. The principal actors here, Ogenyo Nazi, his red card in the Chad game, I think it has been blown out of proportion. Yes, it was an off-the-ball incident. Yes, these things happened, but it happened on the field of play. It should have been dealt with as an internal matter and not blown out of proportion.
Let's put this in perspective. Okay, let me start with you. Let's put this in perspective. Stephen Keshi's issue, let's sort that one out. Okay. Then probably we'll talk about Vincent, and then if we have time, maybe we'll talk about Ogenyo Nazi. Keshi's issue has got to do with his being shortlisted for the national team job of Cote d'Ivoire, and his employers are livid that how would you be looking for another job when you have our job? Are you treating us as second-rate persons, or are you just managing with us until you get something better? Understandably, maybe they should be annoyed the way they are. But let's start with that. That's the background to the Keshi issue. But Keshi and his agent have come out again and again to say, look, I have this Nigerian job. I'm committed to the Nigerian job. I'm going to see it out, and we don't have anything to do with what is going on in Cote d'Ivoire.
But
how do we? Yeah,
he hasn't said. He hasn't denied whether he applied or not.
The agent says we didn't get involved. I didn't get involved. I represent Keshi on all fronts. I didn't get involved with the Ivorian job. Maybe someone else did it on my behalf. But let's start with you on that.
Well, Tony, when the story broke, I think it was late on Friday. My initial thought was that perhaps Keshi applied before April,
before the Nigerian job was concluded.
Before he signed a new deal with the Nigerian Football Federation. And that was my initial thought. But before we came on air, I read a story, credited to somebody very, very influential.
That the football,
yes, that the Football Federation.
Where is this? Okay.
Very credible. Cote d'Ivoire. That his CV got to them on June 11.
June 11.
June 11.
That's just a few days ago.
Yes, that's
a few days before our game against Chad.
Yes, confirmed that the CV got to them on June 11.
Did they confirm who sent the CV?
That is what we cannot confirm. But like Tunde said, the press release that was issued by Keshi's agent Ado Emmanuel did neither confirm or deny that Keshi applied for the job. He just said
say when
that
this
he was happy as Eagles coach, and
he wants to see out his contract.
And they also made made issues more complicated when he said that he has a good relationship with the Ivorian Football Federation, and he will cherish that relationship all his lifetime. So
no, not Ivorian Football Federation. Ivorian people.
Ivorian people.
Okay. Ivorian people.
Well,
because that was where he started his professional career.
The Football Federation is also
the Ivorian people. No, Federation is a different entity. The Ivorian people.
Ivorians make up the Football Federation.
But the Ivorians make up the Football Federation, but the Ivorian Football Federation is not the Ivorian people in its entirety. Let's separate these issues as objectively as we can.
Okay,
if somebody says the Nigerian people is different from the Nigerian Football Federation,
the Nigerian Football Federation representatives of Nigerian people?
They are representatives, but they are different entities.
Well,
so are you Nigerian Football Federation?
I'm not a member of the Nigerian Football Federation.
Are you not a Nigerian person?
Wait.
Okay, let's not. Okay.
Let me
All right.
continue. Let
Okay,
me
continue. Continue.
So if it's established that Keshi, whether through proxy, agents, or whatever, apply for the job, then I mean it's in hot soup with his employers because obviously that is a breach of contract. But Toyin, when you also look at it the other way, where on earth do you hear that the Football Federation president keep on saying that the coach is not in charge? You know, Mr.
What are you talking about?
Mr. Pinika Maju, you know, has said it repeatedly after we defeated Chad. The other day they said they clipped the wings of Keshi in terms of selection.
Are those the words of Amaju Philip? Or the words of the media?
No, but he said so that the coach will no longer be in charge. He has to submit himself to the technical committee. You know, and there's a saying in my place that it's only a tree that will stand when he's told that it's going to be cut down. It's only a tree.
Are you saying
if a man comes here now with a machete, all of us are likely to, you know, take to our heels. So if you are telling your coach that it's no longer going to be in charge in terms of team selection, then
we are telling the man. Let me just chip in a little before you. I mean, forget about that point. Is the context? I mean, we read a lot of things on the pages of newspaper. Some taken out of context,
but the man has not denied.
Blown out of proportion.
The man has not denied.
What did Amaju say? Are you sure that was what is the context in which he said it is the one that the media has presented for everybody?
No, the man has not denied. We heard of a certain player. I think the prelude to that was that a certain player, allegedly from Water FC, who wore number 10 on the bench against Chad, you know, had questionable identity. And for the fact that he even wore the legendary number 10, and from there on, they started saying that perhaps a lot of alleged hanky-panky was going on. But like Tunde said, these issues are to be handled internally. People are giving memo. Even here, it's a private organization. You can give somebody a query. It's an internal matter. But I think that a lot of people on this issue are playing to the gallery. Everybody wants to be heard. It's utter bedlam. The coach...
The problem here now is that it is no longer the Eyaman and
we're not.
We'll talk about internal. But the problem is the Keshi one is no longer an internal one because it has crossed borders and it is now an issue between two rival football federations.
I'm not talking about Keshi applying for the Ivorian job. I'm saying
talking about the way that we have managed
this issue before this time. How can the president be saying that the coach will no longer be in charge? His wings.
I have my worry about the context.
And the NFF has a communication department that has neither debunked.
If you want to debunk all the stories you read online or you read in the air on wires, you have nothing else to do. You'll be debunking till eternity. So that they have not debunked for me counts for very little. We have to understand the context under which that statement was made for us to understand it. So I'm not saying what the president said was correct or is not correct. I'm just looking at the context in which it was made. But be that as it may, what have we done with what is on our hands right now in terms of the Super Eagles, the future of Stephen Keshi, the focus of this team for the challenges that are fast approaching? What have we done? Have we managed it well? Could it have been better managed? And is this the end of it all? Or as somebody told me earlier on today, is this a situation of trying to hang someone when you should be slapping him on the wrist?
Actually, all these issues here, like I said, are a major test of the character, of the will of this board in order to ensure that Nigerian football is put on a proper footing. Everything that has transpired now is now is now something that is extremely hot on their hands. Whether they drop it or they persevere and carry it, it depends on on the direction of the board. The Keshi issue one is particularly contentious. This is your national team coach, and he's now alleged to have done something he shouldn't have, applied for another job while he was still in your employ. It raises so many questions regarding Keshi himself and regarding the FA. And going back to what Onye said, what Amaju said in the past, you should also take it in the context of what happened in the past.
why would he say such a thing if there was no precedent, if there was nothing that had occurred? We all know that they had a fractious relationship.
I thought that was. I thought that was. Hold on.
We all know
I
that
thought
it
that
was
was.
never truly.
I thought that was in the past, because they have told us over and over again they were not coerced, they were not forced.
So you should do better.
No. I'd like to take people by their words.
Okay.
They told us they were not coerced, they were not forced, and that they have settled for this man. It's not a. They had every chance in the world because
Yeah, true.
those that allegedly were forcing them to go on had lost out in the elections, and then there was a fresh beginning, and they said, look, this is the man for the job. All right? So I don't want to dwell on the fact that maybe they were coerced. They have told us that they were not forced. They are in a relationship with Stephen Keshi, and they want to see it out. That's what they've told us. So why would things just change after a victory? That's my worry. Why would things just take a turn for the worse after a supposed victory
Well,
and a new start
Keshi appeared immediately after I got a
and away win?
and away
I know, but that was as a result of
I
what came out of the World Cup. But this is a fresh beginning.
I think whether you agree with me or not, there are still certain characters within the football fraternity, within the federation,
who do not want him.
who don't want him.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
So this is an opportunity for
when
them to get
such,
back.
when such issues come up, you know, these people are going to do everything, you know, to